Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for the tip yesterday because someone said, Jill, you have to start with your phone horizontally if you want it to be horizontally. It won't flip back and forth. So thanks for the patience yesterday for me flipping it back and forth the whole time. Good morning, Becky. Hi, Connie. Hello, Jane and Jilly. Good morning. Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. It is the middle of the week, hump day, whatever you want to call it, but it's Wednesday today. Hi, Lana. Hi, KJ. Paula, good morning. Oh, thank you so much. This has been so fun to do this every morning, and just the fun messages I've gotten and how much this is helping people when I really did it selfishly for myself, right? So, and we're on day 22. There's only a few days left of doing this. So hi, Susan. Good morning, all the way from Logan, Utah. It's probably even a little more chilly up there than it is here. Hi, Edie, Teresa, Micah. Hello, hello, hello. Lana, you cute girl. All right. We're going to get started. Hi, Becky. Okay, we're going to start with breathing, just because you guys know how much I love to breathe. It just centers and grounds me. So let's just start by breathing. So if you want a heart link like I've taught you, just put your middle finger and your thumb together. And here we go. Good morning, Barb. Okay, ready? Breathe in. In through your nose, out through your mouth. This time we're going to do it in the count of 4. Ready? In on 4. And out. This time we're going to hold it at the top. Ready? In. Hold it. And out. One more time. We're going to hold it at the top, and then we're going to breathe in a little more. Ready? In. Hold it in a little bit more. And out. It just clears my head so I can think to even talk to you guys today. So thanks for doing it with me. All right. Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday and it is beautiful and chilly out here. And this week is still supposed to keep being beautiful. So I'm excited about that. Today is going to I'm going to go into a few things, but in a few minutes, we're going to get a little interactive here. I want you guys to work with me and, and play at 100% today, with your comments and things, in just a few minutes. So, I first want to read from today because it goes right along with what we're going to talk about from my Jesus Calling book. And it's, today, September 12th. So I'm going to read, it says, "Receive my peace. It is my continual gift to you. The best way to receive this gift is to sit quietly in my presence, trusting me in every area of your life. Quietness and trust accomplish far more than you can imagine, not only in you, but also on earth and in heaven. When you trust me in a given area, you release that problem or persons into my care. Spending time alone with me can be difficult discipline because it goes against the activity addiction of this age. You may appear to be doing nothing, but actually you are participating in battles going on within spiritual realms. You are waging war, not with the weapons of the world, but with heavenly weapons, which have divine power to demolish strongholds. Living close to me is the sure defense against evil." Oh, you guys, that is amazing. And that's why I love to breathe so much and to meditate. I went up to Snow Basin Ski Resort and I just sat quietly and just was sitting there and just contemplating, thinking, meditating, because that is my surest way to feel the Holy Spirit. And, when I'm driving in my car and things like that, I rarely listen to the radio just because so I can think. If I'm listening to something, it's usually some personal development book or something, or Christian music. And I know I've mentioned that before, but it just gives me that time to think and to just lay still and be quiet. And if you guys, this wasn't on my list, but I'm just gonna talk a minute about meditating. If you haven't done it before, it's really, really good to start with a guided meditation. You can get on, there's an app called Calm, CALM, that I love, that will help you. Or you can just Google, I love Deepak Chopra. Yes. And he has great ones as well. If you sign up for, his email list, he'll send you guided meditations. So that it can help you begin to still your mind. And therefore you'll be able to start receiving more revelation and things like that when you work that muscle. It's a muscle that you have to work. So I'm going to start by, my next part is I'm going to start by, I've had a few people that are still messaging me and trying to figure out, what the dot people are telling them, like where the voices are coming from. Is it from the dot people, or is it from God? Is it dark or is it light? And you guys, there's one of my favorite scriptures. It's in Exodus 14:14, and it says, "The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace." And why I love that so much is because God is peace. The light is peace. So if you're hearing those voices that are telling you, that something that's dark, that you just doesn't sit right with you, then that's not coming from the light. That's coming from the dark. All right. So another way to do this is this is the interactive part. We're going to talk about getting rid of your excuses today. No more excuses. Okay. So because the dot people, it's another way for them to get to you, is to help you, to validate your behavior by helping you come up with excuses. So I want you guys to start commenting, like what some of your excuses are for not moving forward. What is holding you back from moving forward, either in your health and fitness, or, just in business or with your kids. One of my excuses was I can't play at the park with my kids because I'm just a fatty patati. Like, there's all those cute moms out there pushing their kids on the swings. I would sit there on the park bench because I was embarrassed, right? That I didn't want to be out there pushing my kids, but that was one of my excuses. I'm like, oh, I'm just a fat mom. I'm just going to sit on the bench. That's one of my excuses. And it's not a valid excuse, right? Okay, so KJ said, too busy. She's too busy. Too busy for what? Too busy to exercise, too busy to read her scriptures, too busy, what are you so busy, right? It's okay. You can just start tomorrow, right? Oh, it's okay. And, you do get to be, nice to yourself and give yourself grace that if you do, like, eat something that you shouldn't, it's not, oh my gosh, let's binge today and we'll start again tomorrow, right? It's you're just like, okay, I'm going to eat this right now, but then I'm done. I'm too tired. I'm going to go and read a few more. Fear of staying strong long enough. Okay, I love this. These are so great. I tell myself I have lack of clarity and it stops me. You guys, these are all coming from the dark. They're not coming from the light, right? We wouldn't tell our friends that. We can think of all kinds of excuses. The first step is the hardest. Yes. Okay. So I would just want to go through some of my excuses that I had before, and these have to do with weight loss and things like that. But you can come up with all different kinds of things to justify your behavior, right? All right. So some of mine was that I didn't have time to plan healthy meals. Have you ever had that? Like, I don't have time to cook healthy, or I don't have time to prepare this meal. I don't have time to meal prep. And healthy food is too expensive. Like, it's way cheaper to buy a bag of Oreos or a bag of Doritos than to buy apples or carrots or something. And that's totally not true. We know this, right? It's just that excuse that goes through your head. It's that limiting belief that gets put in your head by the dark. Which way was dark today? Dark. Okay. So, and another one is that I'm too old. I am too old to run a marathon. I am too old to, to do a triathlon, or I'm too old to go out and play with my kids, or, I hear that excuse sometimes from people, is that I'm too old to start, a program to get healthy, or I'm too old to start a new business, things like that. So I'm too old was one of my excuses. Another one is I'm too tired and I don't have time to exercise. A lot of times I have mind over mattress. I set my alarm and I'm like, oh, just 10 more minutes. And then, oh, just 10 more minutes. And pretty soon it was like an excuse to not get up and go work out, because pretty soon I'm like, oh, I'm ready to get up, but it's too late to work out. So I'm just gonna, get on with my day, get in the shower and things. So sometimes it's like I'm too tired or I don't have time to exercise. And a lot of that, it has to do with getting enough sleep. And I have a habit of, saying it's an excuse, I guess, of saying, okay, I'm going to go to bed at 9:30. Well, I lay in bed and I'm on my phone and I'm scrolling because throughout the day I haven't checked messages. I haven't, so just being able to prioritize my time and get rid of that excuse that I don't have enough time to check messages throughout the day or whatever. But then I end up going to bed so late and then I'm tired the next morning. How many of you do that, right? Let's see, tired, distracted, and fear of failing. Yes, the fear of failing. I do an event here in Utah, and I'm going to start doing them again and probably in a few other places. But we do board breaking, and we break boards. And one of mine is, fear. A lot of people write fear, but dig deeper than that, like the fear of failing in what area? That a lot of people. I did an event just a couple weeks ago. This lady would not participate at all because she even had a fear that she would hurt herself by breaking the board. She had a fear around everything in her life. It just struck me like, oh my gosh, she is not going to move forward in her life if she doesn't break through that fear. And even if it's not breaking the board, but it's so powerful. But just being able to recognize that she does have that fear around everything in her life. So get really clear on what your excuses are. The fear of what? Does that make sense? Another one of my excuses was I have too much weight to lose, to release. Like, why should I even start? I have 130 pounds to release, right? And I would go to Weight Watchers or something like that, and I would go to the meeting, and I'm not dogging Weight Watchers. It's a great program, if you can stick to it, that kind of thing. And they would clap for me if I lost 2 pounds that week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, at this rate, I am going to be doing this for 5 years. I don't have time for this. I want this off now. I want the quick fix. I want, so being patient with myself was really a hard thing when I had so much weight to release. But one of my excuses, I'd go home and I'm like, I can't do this for 5 years. Why? And then I'd go eat a Snickers bar. How many of you have done that? You just get frustrated, so you go eat a Snickers bar. And that's a whole nother topic we could talk about is emotional issues around food and things like that. Another one, so to end that a little bit, not to end it, but to keep going further on, I'm so grateful that I found the program that I did, because not only one, it helped me release weight more quickly. So it wasn't the 5-year period. I was able to release that 131 pounds in 1 year. And not only that, but it helped me feel amazing as I was releasing the weight, right? It was feeding my body full of that nutrition that I was lacking for so long. And just helping me feel really good. On other diets that I would do, because I tried them all, right? I felt tired. I felt depleted. I was like, oh my gosh, I just need something to eat. But of course, you're not going to go eat healthy stuff. You're going to go eat the crappy stuff if your blood sugar drops and you're just like, oh my gosh, I just need something right away, right? So just being able, I love the system that I chose for that reason, that I not only one could release the weight really quickly and feel really good, and have the energy, and it just was coming back. It's just amazing. Okay. Oh, hello, cat. The cat just jumped up here. Get down, cat. Okay. All right. All right. Another one was that it's not Magical Monday yet. And I've talked about this a little bit, but so many people are like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to start this on Monday. So I'm going to binge all weekend long so that I can start on Monday. And instead of doing that, if you fall off the wagon on a Thursday or Friday, don't wait for the whole weekend to start on Monday. There's nothing magical about Monday. I'm telling you what. Although we do get paid every Monday in my company. So for me, I love Magical Monday for that reason. But as far as starting, to eat healthy and things like that, just do it. Just make that commitment. And we're going to talk about commitment another day, but to start that commitment and just do it right now. Okay. Another thing is that I don't want to give up my favorite foods. I'm one of those types of people that if someone was like, okay, Jill, go on this program, but you're going to have to, you're never going to be able to have a Snickers bar ever again, I would poke them in the eye and run away. I'd be like, what are you talking about? Or I'd go get 3 of them and be like, you know what, I'll show you. I can eat 3 Snickers bars right in front of you, so don't tell me I can't have it, right? So instead of telling myself that I couldn't have things, I would just like pat myself on the back and say, Jill, today, and I would say all that, I'm like, I'm choosing not to have a Snickers bar today, or, you know, whatever it is that's sitting in front of me. I worked in a busy dental office, and we'd have donuts brought in all the time, and, you know, just things like that. And I'd say, okay, I'm choosing not to have a donut today. Because if you make it a choice, then you're more likely to stick to it, right? Instead of, you know, saying, oh, I can't have that. Dang it. I really want that, but I can't have it. But make it be a choice. And sometimes, you guys, I would take the donut home and put it in the freezer because I'm like, okay, I really want this, but I'm choosing today not to have it. But I'm going to put it in the freezer so that I can have it another day if I want it. And then I just forget about it, and then I'd end up throwing it out or whatever. So that's probably not the best thing, because then you really have it in your house. But that just was what worked for me. Does that make sense? You got to do what works for you. The next one is that I can't do this forever. Like, I cannot, you know, live this way forever, you know, meal prepping and eating healthy. But you guys, the way that it makes you feel when you are off your sugar, you know, or mostly off your sugar, off your flour, those kind of things, the better that you feel, you know, as far as even your health is concerned. Like, your joint pain isn't there as much, and but it's a lifestyle change. We know that, right? But I still have to have my cake and eat it too. And that's what I love about my program, is that I can still have something if I want to, but then I know that I'm getting the nutrition that I need, and I'm able to just move forward. You know, I can just have that piece of cake or whatever and just be like, okay, that's enough. And usually I don't even need the whole piece. I just have a bite or two. And I used to be that all or nothing personality. And you guys, that can change. It really can. I've figured that out over the past couple of years. I used to, you know, be able to be, you know, people are like, oh, I can just have one cookie. I'm like, oh my gosh, bless your heart that you can do that, because I can't. Like, I will eat the whole batch of cookies. If I make one chocolate chip, you know, if I make chocolate chip cookies for the neighbors or whatever, I have been known to do this. So to make like a pan of brownies, and I would eat the whole pan of brownies before my family got home. And I'd hurry and make another pan of brownies so that they didn't know that I ate the first pan of brownies. You guys, that's how crazy it was. That was the all or nothing stuff that I was in, right? In my mind, the all or nothing. So, and I know that you guys, I could come up with more excuses. I just wanted to cover the ones I had around food and around, you know, losing the weight, because a lot of people have reached out to me about that recently. But I could have excuses around, you know, building my business, around anything. We can come up with any excuse in our life to validate our behavior and what we're going through, right? I'm an all or nothing kind of person. I could never just have one, right? But that can change, Marie. That can really, really change if you know, it's the discipline and doing it time after time, just like having one bite of something. It just came to me like the past few months, is that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really just having a bite of things and not having to have the whole thing. So I have an action step for you guys today, or for this week, however long it takes you, but I really, really want you to do it. On one piece of paper, because this is going to help you come up with your own affirmations. Because the other message that I've gotten from people is, I'm still struggling coming up with my own affirmations. And you can borrow mine if you're having a hard time coming up with your own, but it's so powerful to use your own. And when we voice our excuses, we're able to catch ourselves and turn it into an affirmation. So what I want you to do is, on one piece of paper, I want you to write down all of your excuses that you have around everything in your life, whatever it is. Okay, what is your excuse? What's holding you back from really moving through that block, that barrier, that excuse? So I want you to, on one piece of paper, I want you to write down your excuses. All right. On the other piece of paper, I want you to write down the opposite of that excuse plus one more supporting statement. So let's just say that one of mine is that I don't have time to cook healthy, right? So the opposite is that is I make time to cook healthy food, and it helps my family and it helps my family to be healthy did you see that I did 2 supporting statements there, right? So my excuse was, I don't have time to plan to cook healthy meals. My affirmation is, I make time to cook healthy meals, and in return, it makes my family healthy. It makes me and my family healthy. So you're going to do 2 positives for the 1 excuse. So there are 2 separate pieces of paper. One of them is your excuses. The other one is the affirmation, the opposite, and another supporting thing. And those are going to be your affirmations, because those are going to be the most powerful for you, writing your own affirmations from your own excuses. Does that make sense? I hope this is making sense. Give me like a thumbs up or something if it's making sense. All right. So then what you're going to do with your excuse after you've written all of the positive, right? You're going to take that excuse paper and you're going to burn it or rip it up into tiny pieces, whatever you want to do. Okay, thanks for the thumbs up. There's a little bit of a delayed reaction. So, but I'm going to have you burn your excuses, and be careful when you do, right? Stand over your kitchen sink where there's water and put foil in the bottom of your sink, or in like one of those throwaway pans, or outside of your barbecue grill, something. Burn it or rip it up into tiny pieces, but I love watching those words burn. I just watch them burn and I'm like, oh, it's like a prayer to Heavenly Father saying, I'm giving all my excuses to you. Here you go, Lord. Here you go. Because now I'm going to turn to the positive. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, that is another way that you could write your own affirmation. It's so powerful to do that. Leslie's done this with me several times before. She says, I love burning my excuses. It's so powerful. And it truly is, to get rid of all that crap from the past, right? All right. So the affirmation for today is, I give myself permission to succeed. You guys, it's the permission. It's crazy. I went to a counselor, my poor counselor. I've gone to him for years. But really, he was like, Jill, really, why aren't you losing this weight? Like, what is your excuse? And I'm like, you know what? If I lose my weight, I just feel like I'm not going to be the same person. Like, people aren't going to like me as much. And it happened. It was true. It's funny how when you change yourself, not even your weight, but like when you change your mindset and when you're more positive and, things, you're going to, some friends aren't going to like you anymore, because guess what? Misery likes company, right? Misery loves company. And so they're like, ooh, she's changing. And so people would come up to me like, you're really changing. And they would say it like disgustingly. And I'm like, thank you so much. Like, this is my goal. I'm changing, for the better. So just know that you might get that. But that was one of my fears when my counselor asked me that question. I'm like, I'm just, I don't want to lose friends. I don't, and he gave me permission right then and there. Not that you really need permission from someone else to change your life. You can give yourself your own permission. But he said, Jill, that is the dumbest excuse ever. Like, he's like, just do the work, get the weight off, and let's cross that bridge when it comes. And it really struck me that day. I'm like, I was just making up a story in my head, right? It's those stories that we make up, like, oh my gosh, if I lose the weight, I'm going to have hanging baggy skin. And so, who wants to see hanging baggy skin? Well, I would rather have hanging baggy skin, which I didn't have, thank goodness, but I would rather have hanging baggy skin and look good in clothes than be big and not be able to fit in a roller coaster with my kids, or, or have heart issues because of my weight, or whatever that is, right? Have medical issues. So get rid of those excuses. And you guys, I'm giving you permission right now to move forward in every area of your life, because we'll cross that bridge when it comes, right? Get rid of all those stories that you've made up in your head and things like that, because they're not valid. They're coming from the dark. They're coming from, those dot people. Satan does not want us to succeed, and we're on a mission to win the war. We really are. So that we can return back to Heavenly Father again. That's the only reason why we're here on this earth, is to return back to heaven again and to become like Jesus, right? So let's just fight that war, and get rid of those excuses, get rid of those stories that are holding us back, and burn them. Right? That's the challenge. I want to send me inbox messages. I love it so much, of how, if this helps you guys, if this is helping you move forward in your life, or, if you do the work that I'm asking you to do, which is so, so powerful, I promise you, then I want to hear how you feel and how it's helping you, because it just feeds my soul. It just does. Okay, so again, the affirmation for today is I give myself permission to succeed. All right, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8:30, and I love you. Have an amazing day and make it great, 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 and get rid of those dot people. We're going to win this war. Love you guys.